Hello dear friends and welcome to Multilingual Family. Today's topic is passive language learning. Last week a mother came to me and she asked me if her children would pick up anything from the language that she and her husband spoke, which is a different one from the ones the father and the mother speak to the children. So it's a third language. So in this context, the passive language learning approach means that the child is not involved in the conversation. The child is not being addressed by a real human being. It's just listening actively or passively the conversation. First of all, passive language learning is not a reliable strategy because, as I've mentioned it in other videos, the most efficient way a child learns a language is through real human interaction. You cannot compensate that with anything else. And let me tell you a little story that happened just yesterday with my little girl, Laya. She's now almost 2.5. We were sitting at the dinner table and all of a sudden she turns to me and she tells me in Spanish, where's my turtle? Where is the turtle? She starts counting 1 to 10 and then she says, where are you? So it sounded something like this. Tortuga, ¿dónde estás? ¿Dónde está la tortuga? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ya voy. And so I played along with her and I said, yeah, where is your turtle? Did you find her already? And so on. So once the dad sat down next to her, she immediately translated the whole thing and said the whole thing in Danish this time, even in the same order. So she said, hvor er skildpadda? 1, 2, 3, and so on until 10, and then nu kommer jeg. So she was basically playing in her head hide and seek. And my husband and I just looked at each other and said, how amazing is that? She's 2.5 and already she can translate so fast. She can use both languages so easily. And so for us it was a confirmation that nothing can replace real human interaction. That's definitely the most efficient way kids learn a language. So why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because my husband and I, we met each other in English. I mean, we spoke from the beginning in English about 10 years. And once I was pregnant with Laya, we decided to switch to Swiss German because we live in Switzerland. So we thought we're going to support her in every way we can so she can learn easily Swiss German. So the first years are not very hard for her. Now, although we speak every single day together in Swiss German, and Laya hears that every day, she even hears Swiss German all around her. Kids speak to her in Swiss German. When we go to the grocery store, it's in Swiss German. Everything is Swiss German. And even so, her strongest languages until now are Danish and Spanish. She's making her efforts and making her progress in Swiss German, but it's not as far yet. And that's again a confirmation that the passive language learning is not as efficient, is not as effective as real human interaction. You can simply not replace real human interaction with passive learning approaches like watching TV, listening to radio, reading to books. Those are all approaches that are good as a complement, but they are not real strategies. That's very important. The passive listen approach is never going to get your child to be fluent in the language alone. A real strategy has to exist in the background. If you need to know more about strategies, please look for the video methods. There I go into that topic. Passive listening exposes your child to minor variations of already learned expressions. in Laya's case, she goes 2.5 days to a daycare in Swiss German. She's immersed in Swiss German. That is our strategy, our first strategy. And speaking in Swiss German at home is just complementary to that. So when she picks expressions and phrases and vocabulary words there in her daycare, she might hear variations of those things that she has learned at home. And what will that do? That will just reinforce her understanding. That's what it's going to do. Now, don't forget that a child needs to hear a word at the very least 200 times before he or she can reproduce it. So that's also a reason why this approach is not going to lead to a lot of success if it's used isolated. So to sum up, passive language learning is not a strategy. It can only be seen as complementary to a proven language method. What it will definitely do is increase the familiarity of the language, make your child feel more comfortable around that language, and support a little bit the understanding. So I hope this video was useful for you. Please give me a comment and see you next time. Bye bye.